There are two questions that I get asked the most in life. One is, when are you opening registration for summer camp? And the other is, where's Joey? No, the other is, how do I divide my dahlia tubers? So I'm going to show you exactly how to divide your dahlia tubers and store them for winter. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Things you need to get started include a sharp knife, some snips, some dahlia clusters, and then peat moss. So I use this big bale of peat moss, and I store my dahlia tubers in these big plastic storage bins. I use these big plastic storage bins because I store over 1,000 dahlia tubers, but if you're just doing like a handful, you could probably use a paper bag. But I love using my dahlia tubers I like tucking them into peat moss. Peat moss keeps them nice and dry, but not dried out, and it will also keep them warm for the season. So, a couple really important things to think about when you're dividing your dahlia tubers. The reason why we dig them out of the ground is because if they freeze, they turn to mashed potatoes, and then you can't plant them anymore. So take them out of the ground and clean them off. After you clean them off, they'll look something like this. It still has plenty of dirt in between the tubers, but this is good to start. Now, with this one, I just want to point out, during the season when everything's in bloom, I label all my dahlia tubers. I label them using painter's tape and a Sharpie, and I put it on the stem. And that way I know exactly what variety it is, because I sell these dahlia tubers. In each one of these tubers, if it's a cafe au lait tuber can be like 20 bucks. And tubers like this bride-to-be is 12. So this is a lot of money here. So what you want to do is save them. Now, the first thing I do is cut off the main stem, and then I cut off these little rat tails. So go ahead and snip off little rat tails. And if you also have like little clusters of dahlias, I would say smaller than a ping pong, go ahead and get rid of those as well. You want it to be bigger than a ping pong, okay? Now that we snipped off the little tails, I'm going to take my sharp knife. My sharp knife, I'm going to dig right in to the center of the main stem. The reason I do that, and everybody does this differently, you guys. I'm sure there's someone on this planet who can divide this dahlia cluster without harming any tubers. I'm probably not that person, so sometimes you're gonna like break a neck of a tuber, and that's okay. That's totally okay, because we're learning. So I have my knife in here, and I'm just gonna run it right down the center of this dahlia cluster. And when I do that, I'm being super mindful. I'm not going all the way down. I'm like 2 inches in, and I'm gonna turn my knife. And when I turn my knife, it kind of naturally breaks apart the whole cluster. And as it's breaking, I see a dahlia tuber right here. It's kind of caught in the middle. So I'm gonna snip that, and it breaks it apart for me, kind of. Snip, snip, snip. Now, with your dahlias, guys, I tell the kids, treat them like eggs, okay? Treat them like they're eggs. They're really fragile. I mean, if you drop it on the ground, it's not gonna crack or anything, but each dahlia tuber has to have an eye to it. If it doesn't have an eye, this tuber, if you plant it, it would still set roots, but nothing would actually grow up from the ground, so that would be bad. So you wanna make sure your tubers have an eye. When I say that, what I mean is eyes. Let me try to find one with an eye that you can see. This eye here, we use this one. Okay, this is a good eye to look at. If you have this dahlia tuber's eye is right here. If you can think of a potato that has gone to sprout, that's what you're looking for on your dahlia tuber. You want each one of your tubers to have that eye. You won't necessarily, it's like anything else, you just have to train your eye to see it, and the best way to do that is just get busy with some dahlia clusters and just get to it. You know, like if you break a couple when you start trying, that's okay. So with this dahlia tuber, the eye is right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through with this cluster here and use my knife. And really, I'm being really mindful because sometimes a tuber can share an eye with another tuber, and you wanna make sure, so that you don't waste any, you wanna make sure that everybody gets a little bit of an eye. So as you can see, I'm just, something like this dahlia, that neck broke, so I'm just gonna cut her off. And actually, no, that's doable too. The other thing that's cool about dahlia tubers is if a dahlia tuber, like this is a cool Joey Winnie, if this were to break in half or you cut it like that, this will still grow. This is totally fine because it has an eye. It has to have an eye. If it has an eye, put it in the ground. Okay, so, but I wanted to point out that if you're dividing your dahlia tubers and you keep your eye, but you've got like a long Joey Winnie and it snaps, that's okay. You can still use this. Use it, throw it in the ground, see what happens, all right? So, I got my sharp knife. I still have this cluster here. This guy, he's not bigger than a ping pong ball, so I'm just gonna cut him off. Bye! Goes in the compost, not in the capital A pile. And then I'm taking my sharp knife. I'm gonna go right back to this main stem here. Cut it. Okay, cool. Now, what I like to do when I separate my dahlias is take the knife, put it into the main stem, twist the knife, and it helps break it apart naturally, and it all kind of just unravels for you. And then I take my snips, make sure they have an eye, and put it in the container, okay? So, as you can see, this takes a while. Hey guys, I have over 1,000 of these to do. I am swimming in dahlias in my garage. So, what I do is I break them down until they're about this size. Like this size is good for me. So you can go through and individually do every single one of them, and I wish I had the time for that, but I don't because it's December and we're in Maine and I need to get these guys tucked away. The reason is because if they freeze, they turn to mashed potatoes and you can't plant them. But you also want to make sure they don't get mold or bacteria over the winter. So the reason why we store them in peat moss is because it helps climate control for them. It also is like a little blanket for them over the season. So I say all that to say, because of time and because I'm just trying to get these guys tucked in out of a moist environment and not in cold weather, I'm going to put them in clusters like this. And then in the spring, I can go through and further divide them. So to say, now, do you guys have any questions for me at all? Because dividing dahlias can be so intimidating, but like anything, like it really is so much fun to do when you put on some tunes and go to your happy place and start playing with your flowers. It is so fun to daydream about the dahlias for next season when you get to like work on them in the gray months of winter. A couple other pointers about dahlia tubers. You don't want them to freeze. So if your garage is a place where you get frost on your car windows, don't store them in your garage. Mine's pretty insulated, so I can store my dahlia tubers in my garage, and I just put them on the shelf back there, and they do totally fine. So that's how you divide dahlias. That's how you store them in peat moss for the winter. And then once a month, make sure you go into your bins, see, touch, feel your dahlia tubers. If it looks moldy, if it feels soft like a rotten potato, get them out of there. You do not want them in there. They're gonna spread mold to your other tubers, okay? So definitely do a dahlia tuber check-in once a month, and happy farming, guys, okay? So happy growing. So thankful that you stopped by, and happy dahlia season, dahlia tuber dividing season.